Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm reviewing RWBY Grimm Eclipse. Make sure you select your team and let's get started. That's right folks, the popular web series made by Rooster Teeth, RWBY, has now become a video game of RWBY Grimm Eclipse. It takes a team that you know and love from the show Team RWBY and JMPR and gives you a chance not only to take these teams in the story mode, which you have the opportunity to play solo with just one person from a team and level them up on your own playstyle and playthrough, or you can take it to online co-op between you and 3 other friends to run story mode together, and also the multiplayer mode, which is a horror mode where you survive through not only 10 waves with many monsters. My first pro for RWBY is that the combat is fantastic. It feels like they've gathered inspiration from Devil May Cry and Bayonetta and other titles to learn how to make the combos look cool and all the attacks be unique and have the combat as fast paced as possible, and then you can upgrade your techniques to make the combat even better than what it was originally. And not to mention that these characters have unique weapons within the combat itself. Ruby Rose has a sight that turns to a sniper rifle as a secondary. The game combat just oozes cool and uniqueness from the gameplay alone, and is definitely a pro for me. My next pro for RWBY is that the game's soundtrack and music is phenomenal. It really hits the tone and mood at times because RWBY's soundtrack switches from smooth to elegant orchestral sound in the background when you're exploring through stages to find an artifact or item to progress, to a hard rock infused metal mix in the midst of combat. The soundtrack and audio really tends to hit the nail on the head with the job it's sent to do. You're hyped up and amped in the middle of a fight from the rock music, or you're exploring and get a wonderful symphony to complete it. It's definitely a pro for me. My next and last pro for RWBY is that the multiplayer is where the true fun is at. Whether you're doing story together with friends or you're playing horde mode, you guys will have legitimate fun no matter what the mode. The horde mode is fast paced. So much action going down on the scene. Each wave gets increasingly difficult with increasingly more monsters to fight from the story, and so much is happening on the screen at once where you find yourself lost in it. The multiplayer of this game really does a great job to keeping you interested and keeping it on lock. It is definitely a pro for me. My first con for RWBY is while I do like the gameplay and the combat of the game itself, RWBY's camera works heavily against you throughout this game. No matter what the mode, what enemies you're fighting, the game's camera can seemingly get you killed or at least get you swarmed by some enemies with the quickness. RWBY's camera tends to bounce and ping all over the place, causing you some distress and can really ruin the experience of the game itself. It's just one of those things that is heavily an issue in the later portions of the game and isn't fun to deal with. It is definitely a con for me. My next and last con for RWBY is that the story mode itself is very repetitive. It's heavily just explore here, and fight these waves of enemies until you can travel to the next portion of the stage once you beat these waves of enemies in this fight here. Which it just feels like you're playing the online mode at that point. Yet the story just kind of thrusts you in the game. There's no proper introduction of who these teams are, what the enemies you're facing are for the newcomers of the series, no proper introduction or tutorial for whose first interaction in this game itself. It lacks in that department severely. It's a con for me. But all in all, RWBY is a great game. From its fantastic combat and gameplay mechanics, to its awesome soundtrack throughout the game and the fun as hell multiplayer mode that you can play for hours, this game is wonderful. But with the terrible camera that works against you, the repetitive story mode is multiplayer light, and the way they just push you into the story without any kind of explanation of who is who and what is kind of a turn off as well. But with that being said, I'll be giving RWBY Grimm Eclipse a 3 out of 5. Alright folks, that is all for my RWBY Grimm Eclipse review. If you haven't seen it, go check out my Ghost Recon beta breakdown and thoughts and impressions video. Link to that be in the description box below as well. Tomorrow I'll be dropping my 2064 Reonly Memories review, so stay tuned for that as well. You can also go check out the written review of RWBY at tickgn.com. Link to that be in the description below as well. And until next time and until the next video guys, so tune in, turn up and throw down. I'm out.